man, it's just like so much has unfolded, right? With your unlocking the heart of money, and I don't know, Tess, you got the goods. You got the goods, yeah.
Agree.
Adi, just so you know, like Diane, I did register as well, and I couldn't find the Zoom link in the email either.
Really?
That could just be me. Yeah.
So you got a confirmation email when you signed up that said thank you for signing up, right? And then afternoon, I sent an email with the link as well about an
What's
hour
really
and a half ago.
yes.
No, I didn't.
No, there was not.
No link. There was no link.
There was no link in that?
No.
It did. It said Adi Canda's personal meeting room, and then it had a bunch of numbers and stuff.
No.
Nothing.
I can screenshot it to you, Megan, and then I'll screenshot you the email that I got, and then
For sure. Yeah, please do.
Check that out. Yeah.
Please
Thank you, Mercury. You're doing such a good job.
We are recording though.
Mercury can suck my. Yep.
Did you say we're recording, Megan?
We're recording and good to go.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mercury retrogrades, multiple of them all at once are really doing a number, but you know what? I'm going to survive. So.
Yes. We'll fight
and I didn't get an email, but I'm also really bad at typing email. So.
Sorry about that, guys.
All right.
No problem.
All right, Tess, take it away.
Well, thank you everyone for your patience there. I really appreciate you all being here. But first, I'd like to say thank you to Megan and to Adi for your commitment to community, to enlightenment, to financial enlightenment, and to a world without fear. That is just so awesome. And I want to thank Jonathan too for connecting me with Adi and making today possible. So that says a lot about this group, this community, and I'm just so thrilled and honored to meet you all today. And let's create some magic today and reveal.
We love you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
And thank you for joining us, Tess. Welcome. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am going to make an educated guess that you are all here because you're not 100% satisfied with your money situation. And maybe you got the money, like my story earlier. Maybe you got the money, but it's not filling you up like it did me. And you know there's a potential for more, to be more, to do more, to have more, right? To serve more. And if that's true, please type up on the chat box, if that's spot on, or share, please, what attracted you to join this presentation about money. And I just want to tune in what everybody's secret wish is. If there's a money breakthrough that you're hoping to get, I'd like to be able to incorporate it for the talk.
Are you wanting us to share now?
Yeah, if you could just type on the chat box.
I'm pretty tired, and I don't think I can do that
You're on the phone. No worries.
I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real. I guess so I'm just gonna share right now is that in the past 9 months I realized I've gone through a 10-year breakup with a neurosurgeon, and I was always very self-sufficient before that. I've never had a problem manifesting money, but there's a lot of fear involved with the fact that I was married for 10 years and in a relationship for 10 years, and there's a ton of backstory, abuse and all that other stuff there, but I'm like a super hard worker, and I've always been self-sufficient. I never felt provided for. And if you inquire with Adi about the core work, my core story, the themes are like lack of self-worth, seeking love, like lack of self-worth and seeking love, and also look, and there's a huge money component there to it as well. And so I've never lacked for anything, and yet I in the past 9 months I've been diagnosed with thyroid cancer, had surgery, I had a 10-year breakup, moved, and now I'm moving again, and there's all this upheaval, and I guess I would say uncertainty. So uncertainty also applies to money, right? In most people's minds, it's like uncertainty is a theme of like, am I going to be able to make these bills? Am I going to be able to? So my uncertainty isn't necessarily in that realm in this moment, but it actually is because I've established a settlement with this person that I was married to for 10 years and raised his kids and all that stuff. But anyway, the point being that he is here, there, and everywhere. He's anywhere the wind blows, right? And so that's where I'm at. So it's uncertainty and I guess uncertainty would be the uncertainty and unworthiness and lack of self-worth, that I know I deserve what I should have. Right.
Thank you.
So
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think that's the common theme for a lot of, I'm going to make another assumption too, that a lot of us here are on the call today as light workers, as change agents, and we are really being tested to really step into our power, and that's a lot of that we're going to talk about today. So the law of abundance.
I just want to tell you, I love you so much. That's already. And I'm going to mute myself so I don't just burst out. So
I love you too.
You're wonderful. Thank you.
Oh my God, I feel you. Okay, so, and we live in an abundant universe, but somehow our mind, our body just can't align with that truth, right? Our spirit knows it, but our spirit cannot guide us because we are so blocked mentally, we are so blocked emotionally, and then there are other blocks too. There's a physical blocks, right? There's environmental blocks, there's cultural blocks, so we're all doing that. But I just want to share with you why I'm so passionate about helping people get in alignment with law of abundance. Just this morning, I got a message from a dear friend and client of mine, and she's saying she's so stressed about money that it's biting her in the butt, I guess, in the ass. And in a little bit, I will show you how to neutralize that stress, that fear, that we have the power to do that. And I'm going to reveal some layers very quickly. Because as long as you're in the energy of stress, as long as you're in the energy of fear and scarcity, you are not receiving that abundance. Okay? So, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask people to mute themselves just so everybody can have a great experience. And so I really want to reveal to you how you can take back your power, take back your mind. And I'm also yeah, so thank you all for your feedback. That is giving me like the foundation on what to talk about today. I've got some notes here, but I just want to make sure that I cover what it is that your intention here today. So thank you for that. So you heard a little bit about my story earlier, how I became a coach, but I also want to share with you how I know a thing or two about creating something from nothing. And hopefully this story will give you a testament of it is true that we live in an abundant universe. So 20 years ago, I moved from Canada to the US with my first husband. We have a 2-year-old, and I was pregnant with my second daughter. It was 4th of July. And then a few months later, my marriage fell apart. I went from a stay-home mom, I became a single mom all of a sudden with a brand new baby and a 2-year-old. I was trapped in a country without family or friends. And I say trapped because my husband tried to kidnap the kids and take them to Hong Kong. And only through angelic intervention, through divine intervention that woke me up, and I was able to catch him red-handed, and we had an altercation, we had a physical fight. And two things prevented me from going back to Canada. And one is I will be the one charged with parental kidnapping if I cross the states, cross the state lines. And then I will have to reestablish 6-month residency in Canada to file for divorce. So I don't want to start all over again. And I have all the evidence and all the support in the legal system. I filed for anything that I could file against my husband just to make sure I kept custody of the kids, not knowing how I will raise them. But so I had no money, no job, no friends, no family. I even got turned away from a shelter because I wasn't a citizen. I survived all that, and I believe it was pure desire to contribute to my children, to give them the best future I can. That got got us out of that mess. And in my book, Unlocking the Power of the Heart, I talk about how God answered my prayers even before I asked. And there were lots of magical synchronicities that happened. One thing led to another. I manifested a home that I could afford on a sliding fee scale, a job offer that came with a sponsorship because I was deportable, actually. I was deportable, but I was stuck in the US and I couldn't legally work. But I found an employer who was willing to hire me and who was willing to go through the hoops of working on my immigration status. So within 3 years, let me pull up actually a share screen. And let's see here. Can you guys see my screen? Yes. Awesome. And those are my kids when I became a single mom. And that was us in my $100 apartment. And within 3 years, we bought our first home. It was a fixer-upper, and I was like an Amazon woman. My mom called me Amazon woman because I was cleaning up the house and refurbished it. And then within 3 months, that was 2000 when I bought my first house. And then in 2006, 2009, 2010, and 2011, I bought more investment properties. And how that came about is in 2006, I was so afraid when the market crashed. I bought my first rental, but because in 2008, the market took a dive and people left and right were losing jobs, I was also fearful that I was going to lose my job. And my tenant for my first rental property stopped paying rent for a few months, and that was very difficult for me to have to remove him from the house. So what happened was I was so afraid of losing my job. I was so afraid of losing both houses that I took a risk and put all my credit cards together, and we bought a foreclosure that, as long as there's a roof over our head, my children and my head, I grew up in the Philippines without a lot of frills. So as long as I had a house over my head, I knew we were going to be okay. But not only did I did not lose my job, but I ended up having a cash flowing on my rental properties, and also the demand for accounting services went up, that I was able to create another stream of income through my business as a thing. So I have the several streams of income. So I hope you're getting that. From nothing, you can create something, and that's what manifestation is. And then in 2013, I shared earlier about my dark night of the soul, my depression. I was my first client. I dabbled into coaching, and I couldn't understand where my restlessness was coming from. I had everything that I thought I was doing everything that I was trained, get education and then get a job, and okay. So it's just interesting to have all that, but I didn't know then what I do know now. And it was interesting when I was on the transitioning from a 6-figure accounting business to coaching, like with everything I know about personal development and the law of attraction, why I was more broke, like the money situation was taking a dive. So that is pretty much what the inspiration is on this call today. So okay, so I promised you to share with you 3 habits why you are not as rich as you want to be. And let's see if I've got all that. Those are my 2 girls. They're in college now. What am I doing here? And that's my daughter, my eldest one. In 2014, she shaved her head because I had a breast cancer scare. And that's me now doing this. This is actually my first online presentation. Is that true? That is not mine. That is not my group. So thank you so much, Addie, for having me. So our core principle is, our theme is, all I need is within me now. And so just breathe that in. The law of abundance states that we live in an abundant universe, in a friendly universe, and that we have sufficient money for all who really want it. But like I said on the thing, right? Where's the money? Deepak Chopra is talking about abundance and all infinite possibilities, but where is it? So 3 habits why you are not as rich as you want to be. Okay? The first one is believing everything your mind tells you. How's that hitting people? You guys agree? Yeah. Believing.
I think everyone's muted, but
yeah. So, and just bring to mind what lies you're telling yourself. Just bring to mind. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna I'm going to just say a few things. You know, money is the root of all evil. Rich people are crooks. Those who have money don't have good integrity. So lots of judgment around money. And where did those judgments come from? And most of us suffer from mistaken identity. We are not who we think we are. And the self that we know or we think we know is merely a construct. Yes, keep the chat coming. So we've made up this identity from 0 to 7. We picked up things from our parents, from church, from our environment, from, you know, got passed down from generation to generation, and it affected how we saw ourselves. It affected our deservedness, our deserving level. Many of us grew up believing that achieving success requires hard work. If we saw our parents working hard, we somehow adopted that as well. And we make so many judgments about money. So we need to take a look at our inner money programming to get us the results. So if you have a core belief that is not in harmony, let's say you want $5,000, but then you have beliefs that are in opposition of that desire, you're blocking your access to that $5,000, even though it is there for you to have that. But because of so many programming that we picked up, what is that? Please move this window away. That's weird. Zoom is telling me something. Sorry about that. So gaining awareness of your beliefs, of your thought patterns, discovering what your core beliefs are, that is the first step. Okay? Let's see. So the second habit is stuffing down your feelings. Okay? Just take that in. Oops. So, number 1, take back your mind. Whatever you believe deep down is what shapes your financial reality. Number 2 is stuffing down your feelings. And we've really become emotionally stunted. We've stifled who we are emotionally. We are afraid to speak our truth. So it's become easier in our society to hide our emotions rather than reveal who we are authentically, rather than reveal who we are, and risk judgment, because we are so attached to what people will say about us. Does that make sense? And then, so we also have had many mistakes in the past, failures regarding money that we have probably not forgiven ourselves for. So I remember when I was trying to get out of the accounting to full-time coaching, I was so torn apart. I felt like I was abandoning my job and abandoning my family by following my calling. I was split into two, and it took me a long time to integrate the two parts of me, that I wasn't really abandoning anybody, but because I was so conditioned to give away myself, to selflessly give away myself, and be the best mother that I can be the best wife that I can be, that the expectation is for me to give away myself and forget about what it is that I really want, what it is that my heart truly desired, and to step into my soul calling, into my heart's desire, was an excruciating experience. And so that was the point where my money situation was really taking a hit because my energy was split. It was, do I go here or do I go here? In the meantime, I am not really manifesting anything because I was neither here nor there. I was nowhere, really. So I hope that's making sense. Let me just get a sense of where people are at. I lost the chat button. I could see it popping up, but I can't see it now.
Chat button should be at towards the right at the bottom of your screen, Tess.
Yeah, I'm making it show large. Okay.
Just click on the one at the bottom. It says chat. It should lift up the box for you.
Yeah.
But then this has been one of those days. So
yeah, it's like
who knows?
Okay, well, let me just keep going.
Do you want me to read you some of the comments from the chat?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you saw most of the goals. Yes. Did you see the goals?
Yeah.
Early on, right? So
yeah.
And Jared says the mind can be tricky when you were speaking about the mind. Jonathan says, Tess, I have to work hard for what comes to me financially, or else I haven't earned the money. Right now, there is a lot coming up around survival being expensive, victim. Lizzie says, I don't focus on money. I focus on doing what I love. I said emotional denial is a big part of the Fearless program, or rather releasing emotional denial is a big part of the Fearless program. Jonathan said suppression equals coping. I have a point of view that I had to cope with very little financial support from parents. And Diane says thought. If we talk about our fears, frustrations, etc., are we not bringing it to be? Or are we releasing it when we vent it? Jonathan, interesting point. And Sarah says, hey, I just found out how to chat. Well done, Sarah. Go, Sarah. Jared says, I believe that venting can be productive and cathartic. It can turn into a negative thing if venting keeps happening and no action is taken to change the situation. Sarah says, again, I just found out how to chat. Guilt. She says, guilt about having more than others.
Right.
That's a really interesting one.
Yeah. That's a huge block right there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I did. For me personally,
when
Jonathan
says, oh, doesn't that drive you crazy, this thing now about entitlement and privilege, how it's become this obsessive shaming that's going on? Have you noticed this on social media lately? It's like, it's the accusations about, oh, you're showing your privilege or you're showing your entitlement, and I'm going, oh, no, you guys have got that all wrong. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'll let you say it. I'll be quiet.
Yeah, well, those are judgments, and that falls into the first one, the first habit. So every time we have a judgment on something, we are actually creating a block around money. And why money? Because that judgment is really a judgment of yourself. So whatever's going inside or whatever is going outside is really a reflection of what's going on inside. So whenever you have a judgment on someone, that is really your a subconscious thing going on that's judging you because you haven't fully stepped into that, or it's a part of you that you're denying. So it's really a money block. Every time there's a judgment, there is a separation. And every time there's a separation, we're separating ourselves from our good. And when we are separating ourselves from our good, we are separating ourselves from money. Because money is simply just energy. It's really neutral. And I said earlier in the beginning, I'm not sure if everyone caught that everything is spiritual, including money. including money. So anytime there is judgment, there is separation. Okay. So don't believe everything the mind says. Question it. It's if it feels contractive, and and you can feel it in your body, and that goes with the stuffing down your feelings as well. If you can't heal you can't heal what you don't feel, and what you cannot heal blocks your abundance. And again, that is it's like the wall of separation, because we're not in touch with our own feelings. We're projecting a lot of that outside, and when we're projecting a lot of that outside, we're also projecting our power and looking for power outside of us. So I hope that makes sense. So so what you cannot heal blocks your abundance. So I think Diane asked about if you're not speaking about your fear. Venting and processing your fear are two separate things, two entirely different things. So complaining for the sake of complaining, what is underneath that is usually looking for significance, looking for attention, looking for validation for the victim mentality. Whereas processing your fears, going to the deepest part of the wound and parenting that part of yourself that is hurting, that is what allows you to become whole and complete again. I have, and Jonathan and Elizabeth knows this, I have this thing that I say, no parts left behind. Every time that we have a judgment on another person, is usually a judgment of ourselves. And it's usually from, from 0 to 7, we heard a lot of, and our parents, knew what they knew how to raise us. So this is not about blaming anybody, but just taking ownership. So now we know that from 0 to 7, we may have picked up something. Here's an example. There's dinner table. Your mom told you finish your dinner or you won't get ice cream or you won't get dessert. Your brother finished dinner and therefore your mom gave him ice cream. And you could come up with different meaning why you're not getting an ice cream. Mom doesn't love me. He is more special. So all of these things that we create meaning, it creates the filter through which we see the world. So then the deservingness that we need to generate money is not there, because there's a wounding, from ages 0 to 7, where everything we observe from our parents, from our environment, from the priest, from the teacher, everything we take at value, and we take it in as law, as rule, and we never question it. And I found a lot of beliefs and rules that I picked up that I never questioned until I got into coaching and personal development. And so a lot of belief patterns were formed from 0 to 7. A lot of wounding was also stuffed down from 0 to 7. We got into the coping mechanism. We just wanted our parents to like us. So we did everything, kids turn into comedians, or you create that identity from 0 to 7 based on their parents' reaction. So if the mother is one that maybe I have a client, the parents got separated when they were 3, so up until now he is the mother's confidant. So he's been carrying the burden of making his mom happy even at 45. So he's still carrying that. Is that making sense? So we really need to look back and discover what are the false beliefs that we are believing in, what are the emotions that we just, slap, we don't even want to look at because it hurts so much. The thing is, if we don't, and we're not digging it like in therapy, they keep talking about it, but the more you keep talking about it, the more it gets reinforced and anchored into reality. What we're doing is just looking at it, recognizing it, and then love the part of ourselves that is wounded, and bring that part back into our life to become whole and complete again. Okay, and when you have, when through your body, like there's an emotional reaction in the body, you feel tense, you get triggered. So if there's triggers and if there's tension in the body, just stop, ask your body. The body will tell you. The body will tell you. The body doesn't lie, the mind does. I'll say that again. The body doesn't lie. It'll tell you the truth. The mind will make up stories to keep you the same. And it's its job. The mind functions from wanting to protect, from wanting to keep you alive. So that's its job. So the thing though is it operates from history, from past experiences, from anything that it's already experienced. So if the unknown is unknown to the mind, so it's going to stop you from going there. So question the mind, process the feelings, make sure there's no unresolved trauma. And then the third one is waiting for permission and outside approval. And that's because we have that filtered, we are not seeing the world as it is, but we are seeing it from our woundedness and from the programming and conditioning that we received as a child. So it's time to take back your mind, time to heal any emotional trauma, and also time to shift your power and trust yourself. All right. Yeah, so I know when the road gets hard, life hurts, and what we do is we pull back. In a knee-jerk reaction, we go into protection mode in order to survive. But the money is really directly proportional to how you are fully expressing your unique self, your unique expression, your unique gifts. Underneath all the hurt, underneath all the pain is your gifts. And your spirit is always seeking expansion.
Can you go back? Can you just go back 3 sentences? Sorry, I'm going to ask that again. It's
3 sentences?
Yeah, go back to this.
So the third one is waiting for permission and outside approval.
Yeah.
I can't go back.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You said something very profound, and it washed it.
Yeah. So you gotta shift your power instead of asking people. So, like I explained in the mental block and in the emotional block, right? We've created this identity based on pleasing other people, giving them the power. It's time to shift power back into us. Every time, like even money. Do you realize how much power you've given money? That's the working hard. That's the, and I do that too. Like I said, I like, oh my God, if I don't have this job, then I don't have a sense of security. Like, that's diminishing our worth. And when we are looking at ourselves from a diminished worth, that affects the money in the bank account. Does that make sense? Because everything that you're doing is from fear. That fear that it's not going to work out, no one's going to like it, you're fearful that you're going to get rejected. So it's time to take back your power and shift your power, trusting your own guidance. And money mastery is really about becoming more whole. That's the no parts left behind. All the good, the bad, the ugly. Sometimes we're working so hard to hide the good, the bad, and the ugly. That whatever we're judging against ourselves, we're working so hard not to show people that part of us. But the thing is, you are that. You are the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that is, you gotta remember all parts of you. Hang on a second. Okay. So questions?
Okay, can you read your chat, Tess, or do you want us to?
Hang on, I think I can.
Do you want people to ask questions with audio or with chat? I just asked, how do you work with the energy of frugality versus the energy of trust? You know that thing where you're supposed to, I find so much money coaching or in the past was all about saving. And then I remember reading someone who said, why not teach wealth rather than teach saving?
Okay. I have a situation here. I need to come back. Hang on 1 second, okay?
Sure, love. It's that kind of day.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. I was going to ask her to take us off screen share so we could chat while she's gone, but oh, there we go. Woohoo. Isn't it an interesting one? Is everyone enjoying the contrast?
Oh my God, Megan and I just totally got like sending private messages back and forth around this whole subject about being too stupid to be rich. Like financial literacy, right? Is like, accounting, you need to know how to balance your books, you need to like pay attention, count. It's like, if you have, like, I have a point of view where it's like, oh, I'm learning disabled, retarded, or stupid. I've been told that. And so I just thought, okay, well, money's too much of a brilliance for me. And that just came pouring out of me. So like, I'm trying to like right now love this part that's just pouring out of me. Megan, say something about it, please.
Absolutely. I was all up on Jonathan's comment. The sentiment that I felt was that like, that's for somebody else. You know what I mean? You create an idea about who that person is that is successful or affluent in any way, and that is not me. So you can't see that space. You can't see the path because it doesn't seem like an option for you. I was going to say, I love what Jared said too, that there are stupid rich people though too.
Oh, well, for heaven's sakes, have we not got an amazing role model for that going down right now in the presidential spot? I mean.
Oh, that is so true.
Yeah.
But Jonathan, do you also have attached? Is there also a sense of the irresponsibility thing? So it's partly the idea, if you manage your money well, you're intelligent, and the other part is if you manage your money well, you're a good person, you're a responsible person. The best people, the good people, the real people have their money covered, right? And if you don't, there's something wrong with you.
So here's a beautiful point on that, Adi. How much responsibility am I avoiding by creating myself financially retarded?
Nah. Oh, but that's getting really complicated. But I hear you. Yeah. Well, and the inverse of that is true, is that sometimes those who are able to accrue a lot of money will carry with that a real heaviness of that's their identification, that's their identity, that they have it all under control. Because, and then if they lose the money, then you get executives jumping out of towers, right? Because there is so much attachment there. And Tess is back. Are you okay, Tess? Do you need more time?
I'm okay. I just my computer just started shutting down on its own.
We haven't even done any energy work today. How is that possible?
Can I share a story?
Yes, please.
Quickly? My son has got a scholarship to a very private, exclusive school here because he's a goalie. They needed a good goalie. So he got into this great school. And he's actually loving it. It's wonderful. But he came home one day and said, Mom, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're really that smart. And I went, right. And he goes, it's amazing, but they know they're going to be really rich because they know they're going to be. And I went,
well, so say that last part again. They know they're
going to be rich just because they know it.
Oh, he's talking about the kids at the school.
The kids at school, they all know they're going to be successful because it's no other thought process to be anything else.
Yeah.
It's what they know.
It's their money set point.
Yeah. And it was interesting that my son picked that up. I thought,
good for him.
That's like a law of attraction piece. You focus on something, you believe it, you create it. If that's all you're up for doing, and you're not interested in being conscious in a bigger scape, but you keep thinking the same thing over and over again, and that's your reality, I guess. And if you're wealthy, I was actually just going to comment on the Facebook about the privilege that I have friends as social justice activists or whatever who use it in the sense that people that are just white hold a certain privilege because they're seen that way, they're viewed that way and held that way through the media and everything. And one doesn't have to take that on, but if you're not that, that's what's in front of you, and that's what you're seeing as the world out there, because you don't see yourself represented. So in that respect, you can actually use your privilege to support others by owning it and not making it, it doesn't have to mean you have money or anything. You just happen to be white living in North America. And that's enough.
It just completely negates a karmic view.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't, to me, the whole notion doesn't fit with understanding how karma works, And so if we're going to blame people for the blessings in their lives, then that's just as problematic as blaming them for their wounds.
Exactly.
There isn't, that's not the point.
People are blamed, but the people are just blaming people because they're not understanding things on a deeper level. There's no reason to blame anybody because they have white and have money or anything. Yeah. But that's sort of how it's held out there.
There's a lot of blame going around lately, wouldn't you say?
Whoever jumps on that bandwagon. Yeah.
So is your computer okay, Tess?
Yes, it's okay. And so I just want to show you, we're talking about the blame and all that. So if you guys can look up the emotional guidance system from Abraham Hicks, you can just write that down. She's got emotions list. So it goes from powerlessness all the way to faith, trust, joy, love. So let's not concern ourselves with what is going on out there on a collective consciousness level. We need to work on with what's going on inside us, and then our reality will then reflect what's inside of us, because wherever your focus goes, it expands.
Right.
That's where the energy goes, and whatever you see is wrong out there, that will anchor you into that reality. You have the power of choice. You can choose a reality where it's based on fear or the negative emotions of powerlessness, fear, insecurity, jealousy. So I'm going up the list: hatred, revenge, anger, discouragement, blame, worry, doubt, disappointment, overwhelm, frustration. Can you feel that in your body? It's like, even as I'm saying that, the tension is there. And if you go up to hopefulness, then there's breathing room a little bit there, right? And then optimism, enthusiasm, passion, right? And then faith, trust, joy, love, appreciation, and gratitude is number one. And really, those are the elements that we need to really cultivate in us, and really embody, and really retrain the mind. You're questioning the mind. You don't believe whatever it says, and now you're commanding your subconscious, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, that I want to embody faith, trust, joy, love, appreciation, gratitude. And that's who you become, right? And then whatever, sorry, the language, whatever shit is clogged up inside, when you start showing up as the light that you are, as the love that you are, anything that's out of alignment to the love and to the light will start showing up, and you don't have to push it down like a balloon in the water any longer. Invite it to come up, and I see you. Thank you for the lessons. And Addie was saying, you can't just blame the bad, because underneath the bad, you became something out of that bad experience. It gave you tools, it gave you skills because of coping out of that bad experience. And until you see that lesson, you'll keep regurgitating that bad experience until you say, okay, I see you. I got my lesson. Now I can let you go. I can release you. Okay, because then that is really how you now let your spirit to guide you forward. And again, if you're not in alignment with your own, self-love is source love. And I think that is the biggest thing that I want to leave you guys with, is loving yourself is really loving God, or really loving spirit. But regardless of your belief system, your religious belief system, self-love is connecting back to source, connecting back to all the abundance that is. But because of all the mental blocks and emotional blocks that's still lingering, we're unable to connect. We feel disconnected from our own self. Okay. So I'm looking at the time, and so I'm just going to quickly let you know what the 7 major money blocks are and how to unlock them. Is that cool? One is lack of vision. If you're not clear what you want, then what you don't want is what you keep manifesting. And number 2 is getting stuck on the how. How do I make money? How? You gotta trust yourself. You gotta connect back to your spirit. You're gonna connect back to whatever that unique vibration that is you. Deliver those gifts. Those are your unique gifts. So don't get stuck on the how. Have faith, have trust. Unconscious shadows. I think Addie, Jonathan, that's a big part of your work, if I'm Is that correct? The shadow work. Yeah. So
Yes, it is. Yes.
so we touched on that a little bit. So if if your shadow is a good girl, or if that's the persona, show the bad girl, but then that bad girl has to be expressed too. And sometimes when it's not expressed, when it's suppressed, then it turns into something else. Then you are sabotaging, you're doing things. Oh, why am I doing that? Because that part of you needs expression, that part of you needs acceptance. And as long as you're pushing that part of you away, it's wanting to be looked at, it's wanting to be reconciled, to recognized. And then, just say, that's okay, I'm a bitch, right? You need to be a bitch sometimes in order to make money. Hell yeah. So there's nothing, it has its place. It can't be a good girl all the time. Otherwise, that's you're going to be taken advantage of. So take a look at unconscious shadow. Values conflict. I think Jonathan was talking about that, about the responsibility. I was so stuck on the value of providing for my kids. I was a single mom for 15 years. So to decide to risk not having that regular paycheck, I felt so irresponsible. And I was so conflicted. And that is the definition of hell, is to be internally conflicted, to not go for what you want. And sometimes people say, I want a relationship, okay, but I don't want to give up my freedom. So that's an example of values conflict. Avoiding the problem is number 5. Sometimes, we're that was my huge pattern too. Oh, someone just started screen sharing. So sometimes avoidance is a pattern. I did everything I could to escape, but until I stopped that pattern, my money couldn't come in. Does that make sense? Running away from whatever is in front of you. I don't want to deal with that. Oh, I don't want to, this bill, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to look at the bills. I don't want to look at my QuickBooks. I know I'm not making money right now, so a lot of my clients are into that. My avoidance pattern, though, was more like not wanting to be on earth. So that was every time it got, the hard conversations, I'd rather, okay, I'll go to Hawaii, I'll go to, and the more I ran away, the more my money.
There you go. We lost you for a moment. You froze for a moment, but you're back.
Oh, okay, good. So anyway, I was just going on and on about avoiding the problem. So know what it is that you're avoiding and then deal with it. Doing it alone, having a community like this is perfect. It's no longer about wearing the superwoman cape and doing it by yourself. So have a support system, and it's easier to spot your weaknesses and the bullshit that we tell ourselves when we have someone to hash it out with. Again, it's not complaining, but it's breaking through. It's transcending limitation and knowing that is not me. I know I can be better. And then having someone reflect that back to you and hold that space for your transformation is so powerful. And we're experiencing that in our mastermind group, actually. So with my private clients. And lack of self-love. So really think about where you are not fully loving yourself. And self-love is more than just going to the spa or buying nice clothes, or it's really, I'm talking about full acceptance, really accepting yourself for all of who you are, like 100% acceptance, no judgment. Even if you make a mistake, even especially when you're having a really hard time, that's when you need to love and accept and approve of yourself. It's oh, I did this again. No more of that. Just really love yourself fully, because when you fully love yourself, that's when trust comes in. And when you can trust yourself, that's when your confidence level shoots up. And when your confidence level shoots up, you're bolder, you're more audacious, you're asking for what you need, you're fully expressing who you are, you're speaking up your truth, you're no longer afraid, you become fearless, and you're really connected to who you really are. You're no longer dependent on what people think of you or what will they say about you. They can say anything. They can call you all sorts of names, but you know who you are. You're grounded in your truth, your authentic truth. You can, and when you are compassionate with yourself, then you can be compassionate with other people too. You know where they're coming from. Hurt people hurt people. So if you can feel that in you, right? When you've resolved your emotional wounds and come back to the fullness and wholeness of who you are, you become compassionate with yourself, then you have so much more to offer to other people. And when you have so much more to offer to other people, then that's where you have the value to deliver, and that's the value you exchange with money. When you're there offering value, then that's when abundance really comes in. And those are the 7 major money blocks. How's everyone doing? Good?
Can I ask? Can I mention something or ask a question or?
Yes, please.
Hi, by the way.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Tess. Sort
Nice
of.
to meet you
Virtually.
too. Yes.
I just I've been reading a book, and it's called "How to Make One Hell of a Profit and Still Get to Heaven." And the whole function of the book is to bridge this gap between spirituality and money.
Yes.
Which I know is a big issue for many of us.
Okay.
But one sort of quote he has in this book, which I immediately saw after Jonathan actually mentioned this thing about being stupid in relationship to money, and I could really relate to that myself. I mean, the idea that if I get a lot of money, well, I've got to know how to manage the money, and all that sort of thing. And so this quote is, "Money flows to those who demonstrate that they can manage it, and flees from those who don't." So it seems that we do have to it does bring up the question that management and knowledge of how to manage money definitely would be helpful and supportive in my being able to sustain money or to draw more money to me and on a certain level. So I just wonder what your take would be on that, because
yeah, that's where I came from, right? That's the field I came from. It's all about accounting your money, creating budgets and projections and knowing how to manage and being a step ahead of the game and all that.
Because on that level, I mean, I don't feel stupid. I probably feel more lazy than stupid.
Right. Well,
where the thought of the amount of things that I would have to keep track of in order to manage it feels almost feels daunting in a way, if it was in large numbers, right?
But here is that what's stopping you from having more money?
I would probably say that there's an element of that for sure. Yeah, I mean, because it generates a certain doubt about
right
about whether I can, if I receive it, will I be able to handle it well? Kind of.
And in the meantime, you're not making money.
Well, maybe not as much as I would like to be making.
Yeah, so that's it's. I'll tell you brutally honest. It's an excuse that you're keeping to not have the money. You're using that as an excuse not to move forward and give yourself permission to have the money. First, give yourself permission to have the money, and then worry about managing it when you have the money.
Well, actually, earlier to that statement, he was talking about how you need to develop a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to invite it first to come into your life.
Yeah.
But can I ask though? There's also once it's invited, there's that tendency for the more this as it comes in, the faster it flows out. You know, that thing where you think, oh, okay, I'm ready, I've invited in. Oh, look at all that's coming, and oh my God, look at where it goes. You know, so it's like you can invite more, and it's great, and you can
right. And the expenses is, if you cannot hang on to your money and you're giving it away, it's because there is a psychological thing there where you're not deserving of this money, therefore you have to give it away. You have to spend it. You have to, there is an inner belief that you're still not deserving of the money. Hence, it has to. So work on the deserving.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's always related to the self-worth, and why self-love is really the key to having money. You fix your self-worth issues, that your net worth shoots up.
So after all those years that you spent learning how to manage money and so forth, are you a fan of the strict budgeting and control of money? Like, it
kills the spirit.
It does, doesn't it?
It kills the spirit. And I had a meltdown because of that. You know, I thought I was doing the right thing. I was managing the Next thing you know, I was so out of touch with my own spirituality. I turned off my intuition. You know, all the things that had me get the house and all that, that was all work of the intuition. I knew, and therefore I acted, and therefore I had it. But because I was working too many jobs and you know, wanting to be a good mom, you know, I was more concerned about the good mom image and the responsible image, that I literally killed myself, burnt out, and lost my spirit. And that was not a way to live, and I knew it on a deeper level, but I didn't know why. Because we were trained to have the house with the fence, with the white fence, and the husband, and the kids, and the education. It's all about proving your worth. Well, you already are worth it, damn it. You already are worth it. So there's no more proving required.
Tess, do you remember there was some, I guess it's sort of a reality show a while back, where there was a woman who would go into houses and she would counsel them. Does anybody remember the name of that show? Mm-hmm. She would coach them about, and she'd put them on budgets and so forth to help save their marriage, because they would be in debt. They'd have all these problems going on. And she was a big fan of putting cash in jars, you know, and you can only
debt to us part.
Debt to us part.
Debt to us part, that's right. And I remember watching it and thinking, like, A, I lacked like all of the skills she was teaching. That was the number one thing I noticed. But B, is I was feeling so bad for these people. If she would shame them like crazy, right? Just really shame them. I remember this one woman, she's going, "Are you serious? You went and had your toes done, $25. I'm giving you a $5 bill, and this has to last you your personal expenses for the next month." And I'm going, there's something wrong here.
Yeah, if it's contractive, like, don't do it. Yeah, it has to be free and flowing. And then your generosity also, and your inspiration. If you try that, the energy right now, it's all about expansion and ascension. So before, it used to be mental power. It was all, I can do this. If there's a will, there's a way. But aren't you guys noticing it's not enough anymore? It's not enough to push through. It's not enough to will power through. It's not enough. It's not working. You have to reconcile body, mind, spirit. The body is where the emotions are. Fear is very physical. You feel it in your body, right? The body, and then the mind, clear up all the junk in the mind, and then the spirit, let the spirit take the lead. So it's a vertical integration, body, mind, and spirit. Without one without any of those three components, without it merging and integrating as a wholeness and fullness of who you are, you will experience some money fluctuations. It's not that you're not going to have money, but it's not ever going to be as fulfilling as you want it to be. There's going to be sacrifices. It's not a wholeness that you deserve it or that you desire, the life that you love to live. And it's not all about money also, right? It has to be a balance.
This is friggin' awesome. Thank you.
And if I didn't answer your questions, please, I'm going to type it up. Email me, chat.
Could we do this, Tess? Could we post questions in the group so that everybody could see them?
Yes.
And see the answers?
That work.
Well?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I was trying to thank you and I was muted. But I just wanted to say thank you so much, and thank you all so much for your patience with our tech stuff and our Mercury retrograde stuff. But Tess, quickly, I know you said you had to leave promptly, but could you share with us about how people can best get in touch with you and what you offer? Is there a quick summary you can give us about your work?
Yes.
And how people might choose to work with you?
The best way is to email me at tess@openheartmindcoaching.com. There's several ways you can work with me one-on-one, where we can look at what's going on, body, mind, spirit for you, and then strategies and really work together. Or a group coaching program and get into the basics of the psychology of money. And there's also the chakra healing with money, the clearing up the energy centers to get aligned with the energy of money. And there's also mastermind. But please just email me at tess@openheartmindcoaching.com, and we can talk about which one is a good fit for you guys.
Wonderful.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really do have to run.
Okay, we'll let you go and then see if anybody wants to stay and ask and share any thoughts.
All right.
Hey, Tess, before you go, I just wanted to plug your Unlocking the Heart of Money. So I'm going to put that in the event page so people can join. It's a free group that Tess sponsors. It's amazing. The energy's
wonderful. Yes. Yes, please do that. We'll all join.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tess.
So much wisdom.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Did anyone have anything they wanted to share before we close? Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for letting me come in. I am part of Tessa's community, and thank you for letting me come in. And
it's great to meet you.
Yes. Thank you. Oh no, where is it?
It's the vision. You set your intention, the vision, and you got it.
I was determined.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Yeah, and it was interesting. The Zoom guy and Megan fixed it, and I'm going, oh, it's working. He's going, that shouldn't have worked. Like, I don't know what she did, and I don't know. There's no problem. He's going in the back end and going, it should be working. There's no problem, and what she did shouldn't have helped.
That's what I said. What did I say? I said, I'm positive this will work. No doubt when I said it, so it did.
Megan works miracles all the time. Well, I think we should keep the positive support around flow and just blessings and wealth going in our community as well, you know, because it is a part, it's a part of everything. It's a part of allowing us to align with who we really are, you know, to access all of that. So I think if we can continue to share any shifts and understandings that we get in the World Without Fear or in the Fearless Forum, I think we should keep doing that, and maybe we'll get Tess back another time.
There was a great thing that Tess reminded me of, or made me reflect on, which was when it was said, when I heard it said once, if you invest in developing in connecting in with your value on such a level that you can feel it in a very deep and rich way, then then all of this stuff will just there was one thing in particular. It'll just of course I'm going to use the classic thing everybody knows, which is it'll just appear or manifest. Oh, this was it. It was when you invest and you feel this connection to your own tremendous value, then you exude this magnanimous presence. And it's this presence that draws the world to you and wealth to you and everything else. So that just jumped out at me, and I just, because it really spoke to me when I came across it, that if we invest in really appreciating our value, then we'll start to demonstrate and express a greater presence to the world, and they'll see that as valuable.
Mm-hmm. And part of the trick, of course, is to actually find the truth of how we value or don't value ourselves.
Well, yeah.
A lot of us think we value ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we go, I don't know, why doesn't anybody else value me? Because I value me. And of course, you know, the proof is in the pudding or whatever. You know, there's got to be something going on there, you know.
Yeah.
I like that quality you describe. I call that radiance.
Yes.
It's the lighthouse that just stands there shining, and then the ships
Sure.
find you, you know,
Yeah,
that radiance is,
yeah.
Well, I guess we're all working on that.
Well, aren't we all?
The other good news is, as Tess was, you know, she dropped so many gems and jewels, but we know that her reference to the shifts that's going on energetically on a planetary level, and how the old ways aren't working, is that what I've noticed is that when we get it right, it can be instantaneous. Like the capacity for manifestation now is phenomenal, which is partly why I think so many of us run into clogs, is because that's an arena where we haven't made it conscious yet. And so the block is busy manifesting unconsciously because we haven't got there yet. And we're doing a great job of blocking because we're manifesting so powerfully, you know. But when we do elevate it into consciousness, then miracles can literally happen on a dime, and, you know, like in a moment, things can turn around. Mm-hmm. Very powerful things can be generated if we walk in that, you know, all the time.
A really simple example I'd like to share about that is that the other day there's this jar that I open up quite frequently, and every time I have to open it up, it's always I have to really kind of struggle with it and everything else. And I just had this really simple moment the other day where I had to do it again, and I was just about to attempt, but in my mind said, "Oh, this is going to open really easily." And I went and did it, and it just opened really easily. and just of attention, just really kind of hit me between the eyes in that moment. It was really kind of neat.
Can I ask a question, True?
Sure.
Was there weed in that jar you were opening? Like, you're using it every day, right?
No comment.
The same jar every day. There's a hint.
No, yeah.
So I want to go to this jar again, and
it's my parsley jar. Come on.
So did anybody want to be brave and throw out a goal, like an intention, a vision?
I already have one.
Yeah.
And I think I've taken, like, obviously I've been working for Addie for a year now, so you can imagine the sort of things that have been embedded in my system for this time. But I'm practicing right now on manifesting different sums of money, changing the way that I'm thinking about what I can save. So I used to think in 20s and I'm thinking in hundreds. Okay, now I'm thinking in thousands. It's like I'm gonna change the way that I'm viewing this and move my intention towards that kind of money. That is what I'm aiming for now. It's not a low scale, it's a high scale.
Wow.
Done. And you know, the money masters and teachers, they all say that. That's this. I keep hearing that it's as easy to manifest 5 cents or 5 million as it, or 5,000 as it is 5 cents. Like it's the zeros are in our minds, right? That it's like if we go there. I think that's awesome.
I think the other thing that's so silly about money is that when we speak about the spiritual work, money is such this earthly thing that we need to trade in, that so many of us that are, in the spiritual community, it's like, what is this paper crap that I have to deal with? It seems so arbitrary in the real grand scheme of things, but it affects so much of our lives.
Yeah. Well, and it is really arbitrary, isn't it? Like it doesn't even exist.
It's a piece of paper that someone said it was worth this much.
But these days, it's just numbers on the computer screen.
Be careful, though. Be careful. Be careful.
Of what?
What you're thinking. Be careful what you're thinking.
Yeah.
You're talking about being crap. It's a tool.
It's a tool. I've always said that. Beautiful.
It's something that it will change things in your life and other people's lives because it comes to you in the right way. So when you think it's crap and just piece of paper,
Yeah.
block.
The way I saw it, has anybody seen Thrive, the film Thrive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the part that fascinated me, was that it's not paper, it's just numbers on a computer now, and that they're making those numbers up. It's just, So, I mean, to me, that's the same principle, that it isn't real, but it is a game. And if they can make it up, we can make it up, why not? I actually really like that idea. I like, to me, that helps me take the power back, rather than it be something that those big guys in the towers downtown can do and own, But someone is arriving by ambulance.
No, you know what? It's Pay. I was like, whose area is having trouble? It's Pay. So
Washington.
I wanted to make sure that she had the sound to talk, so I was like checking back and forth to see if the ambulance.
Thank you. It's gone. So I'd like to share this book that I've been reading that is relevant, I think, to what we're talking about. Is that backwards the way I see it? Or you can see it?
Well, I can't read it.
Okay.
Can you say it?
So it says, and every one culture becoming a deliberately developmental organization, by these two authors, and I'll put it on the forum. And basically what it's about is this, the two of them, which are economists and various things, studying businesses that now are using a triple bottom line with people, planet, profit. And also within their companies, everyone is about supporting each other and telling the truth. And so it's like, there isn't this false way of being at work and looking good and just avoiding things and just being half present. It's about the idea that you can run a company in such a way that everyone feels that they're totally involved and they're able to speak what they see is going on. They're contributing, and it makes a more great place to work, and it makes, as much or more profit. And it has a lot of, tools in it that are very interesting. So I'll write it down if you're on the thing, if you're interested.
Well, that's exciting to hear, because I see so much more of that going on. In fact,
exactly.
I'm just right now currently involved with a corporation that actually is only a year old, and
there you go.
And it's already all around the world, and it's focused on people. In fact, it relates to the dollars that people make, as they don't look at so much at the dollars more than they look at when they see the dollars, they see people's lives
Oh, wow.
changing.
So that's beautiful.
And so their whole philosophy is exactly what you just described. And I'm quite thrilled to have bumped into this, because it's pushing me further into my power, which is really cool.
Yeah. I think it is. And now that we're aware of it, and once we see it, we'll see more of it, because it just will appear, because it's part of our consciousness.
Yeah.
It is exciting.
Exciting times. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you all so much for coming. This was a lovely.
Thank you.
Tessa's energy was so beautiful, and it was lovely to have you. And
Sorry to get here late.
Me too.
Yeah.
I got home late, then technology, blah blah blah.
well, you missed at least 15 minutes of struggle with our technology at the beginning.
Bye, Diane. Nice to meet
Bye.
you.
Lots of love, everybody.
Bye, Jonathan.
Okay.
Diane,
Bye,
before you
John.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to sign off for the
All right.
evening. Love
Sarah,
you
I'm gonna
guys.
message you on Facebook.
say what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak with Sarah on Facebook for a moment. I'm really curious to hear what she has to say about this class.
Yeah. Yay. Okay. See everyone soon.
Oh, hi, Sarah. I didn't realize that was you down there
Or up there.
or up there.
No one's in the same spot. You're right beneath me, True, right here.
Oh, am I? Oh, I'm up on the
You're
top
over
of.
here.
I'm on the
You're-
top of my screen.
Way down here. Sarah's over here. Hollywood Square style, right?
And good to see you, Jonathan.
Yeah, you too. True. It's good to see you, Megan. Are you gonna be gone for? Are you busy for the moment or no?
What do you mean? Like, am I
Like,
around the
well,
chat?
Sarah and I are already here, so I just want to hear your thoughts on this class. They're really bad.
Yeah, for sure. And let me.
I really, really do, because this has been such a, it's been such a huge topic, really, and for you, and well, especially for me and for you, Sarah, and especially like, this is one of the more. This is our first, group call together since you've joined the Fearless Forum program. So I really